Hello, everyone. Jorge here with Avalos Cloud Native and Nexus Technologies. Nexus for linking, Nexus for connecting. And welcome to the DevSecOps Studio, where you can learn basically AI, cloud native technologies, cybersecurity, blockchain, and basically smart contracts. So we have a team dedicated to different areas and we share experience. We got people with 10, 15, 20 years of experience, and we have a community of mentors now, and we have a drop squad for consultancy for whoever chose the skills in here. And we're gonna have a marketplace of applications where people can resell whatever we develop in house. So let's go straight to the point for today's video, which is basically we have EKS cluster in the cloud. We can see it here. It's called Avalo Cloud Native EKS, and we're gonna try to set up a machine that I have running over here. I have a server at home. This is a machine called Underground Nexus. Okay, I have set up SSH in here. Again, this is basically a hypervisor. The hypervisor is called Promox. It's open source. There's also a paid version. You can basically host containers and VMs, but we're just gonna use a virtual machine that I deployed over here to show you what you need to connect there. So as you can see, I have this. Let me log in here real quick over here, so we can start everything from scratch. Okay. So if I say here, who am I? Jorge. If I say IPA, I have IP address, which is IP address for this machine right here. So we're gonna connect to this machine using SSH, okay? So I'm gonna use PuTTY. Everyone knows PuTTY. New session. And this is all local stuff, okay? So this is nothing to do with the cloud, but maybe my own cloud, because there is also private clouds, right? So you learn concepts like that. Google Cloud, private cloud, cloud agnostic, zero trust, cloud computer, 212. So we're gonna log into this machine right now. Borderhead here, we saw it there. So once you join our community, you're gonna have my support to the communication to me and to my team. Of course, we got jobs, we have stuff to do. We love technology, we love the community. And if I don't reply, someone else will reply to you. So these videos are online for you and anyone to see it on YouTube, but you also get privately for private members, you get blueprints, a PDF, and our support. So basically what you're doing with me here, you learn cloud native. And when you're learning cloud native technologies, you're learning Linux, how to use Linux. You're learning public cloud. And basically, I'm going to show you the blockchain part, which is also part of my responsibilities in the dojo. We have Michael, who is taking care of the AI. And we have a nice model of the system, the way we work, how we operate in our dojo for people to do consultancy work too. So basically, if you show us that you have skills and you engage with the community, you become part of our family, part of our elite. We give you work in the future, whether it's with my company, cloud undergrounds company, or maybe your own company, because I like to teach personal branding. So this is what I like about this. It could be just me, Jorge, talking, teaching, sharing his experience. Feel free to watch my other videos. There's a lot of stuff to learn in here. We talk about psychology, motivation, experiences, salaries, anything, pretty much anything. So we share our experience in the field and also personal life stuff, like how do we see behaviors, psychology, processes that we have been through, and how we push each other every day. So let's get started. So I'm gonna minimize this over here, so I'm not gonna need it for now. So basically I have all my scripts, okay? I think I have two windows open, this one. So I have one section here. This is the dojo. And basically once we are developing, sometimes we try to put the stuff here so people can follow along. For example, I posted this video about deploying the AWS EKS with custom networking. So you watch the video, you try to do it by yourself, you try to follow, but also we give you a PDF, right? So the blueprint, you can follow along. And then we add more different, for every video is one PDF, there is one blueprint. What I'm trying to tell you is that you don't spend so much time researching stuff like us. Like the first time you're doing something, you spend a lot of time researching, failing. Oh, this is not working. This is working. We give you exactly what you need. And then when you go for an interview, you can answer questions like this. What do you need to do this? What do you need to do that? How that works? And then you have answers. You can land in a job as a platform engineer. You can land a job as a maybe DevOps, because basically the platform engineer is a full stack. And you talk to the DevOps team, you talk to the site reliability engineer, which is basically monitoring performance and monitoring. DevOps talks a lot to IT operations. And then you're, as a platform engineer, you're in charge of a lot of stuff. All right, so let's keep going. So what do you need to connect to that EKS service that I just showed you? What is it over here? EKS service. Let me just close this over here. Let me see. It is EKS service right here. So we're gonna connect to this EKS service, a cluster. Okay. So the first that you need on the local computer, I'm talking locally here, home. This computer is home, okay? In my local server, I have a server at home, my own private cloud, and I'm gonna open my basically blueprints that I have here on the Discord, but we also have it in a PDF or well organized. So we're gonna use the AWS CLI, which is good for interacting with the AWS services. Then you can install the QCTL for managing the Kubernetes resources. And then you need the EKS CTL for creating and managing the EKS cluster. Okay, 3 different components. The very minimum that you need to connect to that cluster that was deployed in the public cloud AWS 6 days ago. Okay, so let's click the first link here. Since we're gonna be using Ubuntu, let's see how it works. So let's find here. Okay, Linux installer. Okay, let me see what it's gonna take me here. Linux ACA install. Okay, I must extract this. Okay, let's make sure we don't have that. So I'm just gonna enter that command in there, make sure there is no conflicts. Why? Okay. Oh, this is for a different package. Maybe we just don't have it. Okay, so that's okay. We can just like try to install it because there's no edit. So basically say to install the AWS CLI. So you're just gonna copy and paste. What is this gonna do? You can see it's gonna make a call to that link, and then it's gonna extract the zip file, right? It's gonna pull it, then it's gonna unzip it, right? And then it's gonna try to install it. That's it. That looks like that's all it needs. So let's see. So I wanna see where print working directory, just in case. Usually goes to the bin folder, but you never know. So I'm just gonna create here, make dir. Let's say here AWS tools. And there's nothing in here, right? So I'm gonna paste that command in there. It's pulling the AWS CLI. Today have been a really long day for me. I wake up around 5, 6 in the morning and it's still rolling, working hard, because once you are in the mood and you have that desire, that drive, you need to use it. All right, so looks like we did the installation already. Okay, and then if you want to update the installation, we don't need to do that. If you want to confirm the integrity of the file, you can do that if you want to. Not gonna do that right now. You need to follow all these steps. If you want to, I'm not gonna do that. You can do that if you want. That's a different install. So what about if I just want to, oh, right here. So if you just want to see if it's installed or not, run that command, AWS dash version here. You can see we have version 2.18. I'm just gonna expand this a little bit more if I can. Okay. And then you can see the path where maybe it is installed to. So you can run this command, which AWS, and you can see the path on the local user bin, right? So now what do we need? What do we do next? After you do that, you're gonna install the QCTL. Oh, actually here, EKSCTL. That's what it wants first. So let's go over there and see if I can see how did we do that, because I cannot. That was a while ago. So if I say if I want to do Linux AMD, if I click over there, it's gonna pull out a file. Or maybe I just can go into. I'm just gonna go online because maybe there is a way to do it from Amazon. EKS CTA install. Amazon usually is pretty good updating documentation. Installation here. I'm gonna use that link from Amazon. All right, set up the AWS, set up QCTL. All right. You can also, there is different resources. So this is for QCTL. I'm not gonna do that one right now. Well, I guess I can do that too. It doesn't matter how you do it. Okay. So over here is basically you have both of them. Let's see which one we can start over here. Let's do whatever's on the top. So over there, I guess it's showing both of them. Install update QCTL. Okay, so let's do this one. I'm gonna do Linux for QCTL, and then I'm gonna copy and paste this one. Say Linux AMD. Okay, I'm gonna pull that one out, the latest version. Okay, I'm gonna paste that in there. So 3 components: AWS CLI, KubeCTL, and EKSCTL. The order, it doesn't matter for now. Okay. So after actually, she's already done. I've done the work over here. Okay. So I guess I don't need to be going over there. So which one I was doing here? I was doing the CLI, and then I went to QCTL. I run that command that I just pasted, which is the same one. Let me see. Oh, no, this one here. This one was, I paste a command Q dots. Well, that was a different command. That's okay. Like, I guess I can do this one too. QCTL. I'm trying to see if it was the same link. Oh yeah, it is the same link. So Amazon, this is for QCTL. So S3 US West 2. So it is the same command. Right after you do that, you gotta change the permission. Okay, you gotta change the permission. Don't worry, I'm gonna give you all these scripts. You don't need to be lost. That's why I give you blueprints. Okay, so we change the permission for that. And if all this documentation that you see here, I pull out that from here. Right, so you can see here the permission. It's the same command that I just pasted, that I just copy and paste here. So all this is coming from documentation that I just did for you. Okay, then if I want to change the home directory, I can, if I want to, right? The path, and then I'm gonna use this one. If you want to know the meaning for each thing here, you will find it on, basically, on the link, this link, which is basically this same link over here from Amazon. Okay, let's see what version do we have. We have client version B13103. Okay, so now what do we have? We already did AWS CLI and we already did QCTL. What are we missing now? We're missing basically the EKS CTL. But before we do that, we need to start, we can do the credentials. Let's do the credentials after, okay? So let's try to verify the location of the path for QCTL, which QCTL. It's also on the bin directory, home Jorge, and the previous one was user. Okay, different path. This one did on the user for the AWS CLI. For QCTL, it did on the home directory. Okay, so now I'm gonna come back here because we're gonna do credentials after. Now we're gonna install EKSCTL. Let me copy this. Copy. Okay. Pasting in here. Again, you're gonna have blueprints for this. Exactly what you see on my Discord server in here. I have a PDF for that. I just haven't. I have one PDF where I put all the stuff, and then you get one blueprint for all the bases. How to deploy the VPCs, how to deploy the EKS cluster, how to create the roles, how to connect from home, how to manage, how to run the first commands. So we don't have so many documents. Only one. Right, finish pulling that. Now we want to move that into the bin directory. Okay, after that, we're good there. We can verify the path for this, which EKSCTL. It is on the user directory too. Okay. Now the connectivity we won't test it yet because we haven't entered any credentials yet. Okay. What about if I want to test the connectivity between, it says QCTL config current context. Okay. So let's see what we get. If we want to test connectivity or the installation between QCTL and EKS, I can see it here on this image. Let me just expand this in here. Ensure that you can connect to your EKS cluster by verifying that the QCTL context is set correctly. But we haven't entered any credentials yet, so I never did it this way, to be honest. CTL, config. Most likely it's not going to work because I haven't entered any credentials to connect, right? So it's not set. That's correct. All right, so let's go back. So we have done, let me see if I have any other command, useful command that I can use over here. No, we should be good. All right, so what do we do now? We need to set up basically credentials. So let's go back to credentials over here. For you to run the credentials, what you need to do is to run this command, AWS STS get caller identity. And most likely it's not going to show you anything because we haven't set up any credentials, right? See, unable to locate credentials. It's telling you here, okay? So what do we do now? We need to create credentials. So how do we create credentials? So we run a command. I think it's AWS configure. It was. There you go. Now it's gonna ask you for AWS access key. Okay, let's go and get my key. Okay. So because I haven't downloaded over here, which I'm not gonna show you. Oh no. Okay, that's okay. I guess you're gonna stop the video. That's okay. I can always revoke that. It's not a problem. So I'm gonna stop the video here for a second. Anyways, I'm just rolling along. I don't mind if you watch my access key and my AWS secret key because I'm gonna revoke this as soon as I finish the video. This is just to show you. So I enter the access key, the secret key. Now it's asking me for the main location that I want to be connecting with or the zone. Okay. The file is maybe JSON if I want to. Okay. Now we're good. Now we got credentials. So you may ask yourself, how do you get those keys? Basically, you go into IAM service, and I have set up a user to connect to that service. Okay, so you go into users, and basically I'm using this user, CRE user EKS admin. That's a custom user. And from here, I have the access key, as you can see, ends on QR. And if you check over here, I'm ending on QR. Okay. So in my previous video, I did show you, no, I did not show you how to create that user, but I cannot show you everything, every single detail over here, because otherwise I need people to come back to me and say, listen, I want to work with you, right? So anyways, I have the secret key too as well. I have entered the key. So just make sure that this user over here, okay, it have to be part of the EKS cluster administration. Otherwise, you cannot get access to the cluster from home. Okay, so you come into users. Let's go into the resources for the users, storage, authentication, service accounts. Give me 1 second. So yeah, so you come into you log into the cluster, you come to access, and you can see here the CRE user admin. They have to be here with a specific access policies. I have all this documented on in the blueprint. So you don't have to worry about that. So make sure that is you have the correct policies. It make sure it is added manually to the cluster administration or access, and make sure that you have to create a user, right? First, in the first place. So, okay, we got that. Let's go back to our documentation over here. Okay, we set up the identity. We set up, did we install the EKS service? No, we haven't done that yet. Can't remember if we did this step. No, we didn't do that. So I'm gonna install this. I'm gonna install the EKS service now. I thought we did it. It's okay, we're gonna do it now. If we miss it, we did it again. And then move this one to the bin. I think we did, but I'll do it again just in case. All right, now it's asking me to retrieve information. So basically, I'm gonna say, please update my information from the Avalo Cloud Native EKS. Okay, this is an actual command that will try to basically query the public cloud AWS cluster from my local machine. As you can see, that's the name of the cluster, right? So I want to see if that will work. So yeah, I entered that command, right? And it says that it updated the file. So what is it that it wants me to do next? Um, it wants me to test connectivity. Let's see if I can test connectivity from here. You see, I got connectivity, cluster IP, right? All the information. If I want to get the pods, so I deployed two different pods. What are pods? Containers. In this case, I deployed two NGIX servers. So let me see how many nodes I had there. I had two nodes. I want to check the pods now. Okay. All the information, all the basics. All right. So now we can run this command again. So if I want to run that context command that I was trying to run before, there you go. I got some information about my cluster, this key, right? And then if you want to deploy, let's try to deploy a new server, okay? So we're gonna deploy an application, okay? And this application is this one right here, the NGINX deployment, okay? So let's try to do that. So what's the first step? So first step, it wants me to deploy, basically modify a file, Okay. So let's go over there. Let's try to modify that file. And now from here in this machine, it wants me to copy all this code in here. So we can see the API version, deployment, the application, and the container port. Okay, I'm gonna copy all these. Okay. I'm gonna enter that into the text file. I'm gonna say port 80. Ooh, 80. Ooh, give me 1 second. There's something wrong here. Unbound key. Okay, I got something with my key, something going on with my keyboard. So I'm gonna say port 80. Should leave some space here. Like that. Now I'm going to say Control O. I'm gonna save this. Enter. Now I'm gonna try to exit with Control X and out. Okay. And then what's gonna happen, right? This file defines the deployment name ngx deployment. Maybe I should modify that. Okay, let me modify that because I already deployed something with the same. So we can modify that file name. I'm gonna call this one because this computer is called Q2. Locally, I'm just to remember, identify. I'm gonna call it Q2. Okay, so I'm gonna say Control O, right, Control X. Good. So it's gonna that's the name. Then it's gonna deploy that container. They have two different pods, right? Two different workers. So we have the cluster, which are two computers. Then we have the worker group, which are two different workers or nodes. And then the pods or application goes inside the workers. Okay. Okay. So we did that. Now we need to create a Kubernetes service. How we do that? Well, by doing this. NGX and just because I use it as the same name. I want to make sure that I don't do the same thing again. But this is a different computer. So let's go here again. Sorry. Nanox NGS service. So you do the custom file first, okay? The deployment, and then you have to create a service for that. So I'm gonna say NGS service, enter, and then I'm going to use this code, okay? So basically this application will deploy that on port 80, 8080, because remember I say 8080 on the main file, but don't worry, you're gonna have these blueprints, okay? And then I need to save this. Control O, Control Enter, sorry, Enter, Control X. Now let's apply the service. How do we apply the service? Basically, I want to move this from here. We need to apply that to the basically load balancer. This is the cool thing about AWS EKS service. The part of this container application that we're deploying, it does it automatically. One in one worker, the other one in another worker. One fails, the other one takes over. You don't need to worry about that too much. Okay. AWS take care of the clustering, make sure it's up all the time, right? With all the basics, right? So we're gonna apply that service now. Done. Oh, I got an error over here. Looks like it wants a Java file. Give me 1 second. All right. So basically, what I have to do, so I was having because I was copying from here. So I do have the image, so you can actually compare whatever you copy, because I was copying from here. What I have here, it is the same that I have in the image, but you don't have to worry about that. So okay? Because I'm gonna give you a PDF. And if anything, you always have ChatGPT in case you don't know the syntax or how to write a YAML file, okay? So basically, I was copying and pasting, and that's why I was having this the dot in here, when it's supposed to be a dash, and that was my problem. So just to make sure that you are on the same page, I'm just going to basically open the deployment file, because there is a deployment. When you're gonna deploy the service, the container, you need a deployment file, and you need basically a service file for the networking and the load balancer. And maybe you also need a Docker file once you are, if you're using Docker containers too. Okay. So I'm gonna open the deployment file. I call it this one NGX deployment 2 because I deployed one before. Okay, for these labs that I'm doing. And I'm going to show you the service file. And that's how it looks. So you need two files, deployment and service. I was having errors copying and pasting from my Discord server. But again, you don't have to be worried about it because I'll give you the PDF for the blueprints. Okay. All right. So after updating the two files, I did run this command, the QCTL apply, just to create the service after fixing the two files. Okay. As you can see, you can have lowercase. I was having an error in there. You cannot have lowercase alphanumeric. Okay. So now we have the service after creating the two files. Right. Now let's see what is next over here. Now we got to verify if we have the service running. So we run QCTL get pods. Okay. And see if we see the new pods in here. Let's go there. QCTL get pods, which you have 4. Why? Because I deployed 2 before, and I did just a 2 new one, just with 2 different names. Oh, sorry, the pods are different, and just made a mistake here. Sorry, I'm just getting a little bit tired, but it's all good. The pods is one thing. What about the service? I want to verify if the service is running right here, right here. Okay, that's what I need. The service, the pods we know. So let's see if the service are running. All right, we got a service running, and then if I copy this in here, and I'm gonna go into the web page, I want to see if this is running. There you go, bingo. So now we practice a connectivity from home after deploying the cluster in the cloud, and then you practice Linux command, you practice cloud native with Kubernetes, and you practice public cloud. How beautiful is that? That's amazing. And you install 3 tools in your local computer, the AWS CLI, the KubeCTL, and the EKSCTL. So again, I'm gonna give you blueprints to make things easier for you. Okay, so it's not a problem, and you're learning straightforward stuff that you're gonna be using for work. Okay, have a good day. Jorge here with AWS Cloud Native. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.